Hello, world. I'm. Let's just listen.
All right, so thank you, and on to the other. A guy who admits he's crazy, and he really does sound like a vampire eater.
I admit I'm crazy. I do indeed. You know who's pretty scary? The person that admits or thinks he's fully sane. Those are the scary people, in my opinion, crazy as I am. And yes, I'm a Transylvanian vampire eater. You just blew my cover, and that's just not allowed.
From Transylvania or something. Maybe I'll play some of his video here at the end. I don't know. Do I still have it loaded? Probably not. So I suppose to should we allow people to make a free choice, have a right to say no mas or say no thank you to the gift of life? And he just evades it and keeps saying you have the right, which would be
I didn't evade it.
the same thing as me saying you're to a woman looking for an abortion, and I've prohibited her from going to a proper medical facility and having it done by somebody who knows how to do it and all that kind of stuff. And instead I just said, well, aren't there coat hangers?
Well, that's not true. I said you could, in Switzerland, you could go to exit and poison yourself to death in a medical environment. And just because there's abortion doctors who do murder for money, and that's their choice, and I'm not even saying they're going to hell or anything. I'm saying that's their job. And also, we have no eliminators, terminators in Switzerland for grown-ups yet, but we do have abortion too, and I'm not even getting into the abortion argument. To each their own. I'm glad I'm not married, I guess, or I don't fuck around anymore, I guess.
You have the right. There's coat hangers. There's a whole bunch in my closet. Just, you can have one of those if you want. You have a right to an abortion.
Yeah, you do. You can have a doctor kill your child, your baby. We should maybe do the same for grown-ups. Then you wouldn't have to legally poison yourself to death and someone else would do it for you. Maybe it would be easier to just jump off a building.
That's just a bullshit answer. And
if you think so.
He didn't really address that. And
I did.
He doesn't really want to deal in any kind of social policy way. He's this apolitical.
I sure don't.
Political stuff, and that's, to me, really, I really hate that.
I'm sure you do. That's what I feel all day, every day. Everybody hates that. They love their systems of man, for sure.
This idea that, I have it written down later in my notes, but I'll say it here just because I'll probably run out of time before I get down here anyway. Being an uncitizen is not being harmless. So he thinks he's a nobody and he's harmless.
I'm sure not harmless. Never said I was. I know pretty certainly the problems I do cause. The little problems in a big world, big scale economy. I do cause some small little crumb from the table of the king's kind of misery. I'm like the dog that eats the crumbs of his king kinda deal. And that's terrible enough, I agree.
But you're really not, because you have to live based on tentacles of civilization that you're connected to. And so you can't really ever say you're free of it. And
until
to even if you were free of it, if you're standing there, you see this monstrosity over here that's dysfunctional and the wheels.
I'm part of the monstrosity, aren't we all? As long as we're on this earth.
Wobbling badly, and the whole car is crooked and triangular, and and you know how to fix it, or you know what would fix it.
I don't know how to fix it, and all I can do is talk and give inputs and act if I get the chance to act. But I hope I better act right, so I often don't even act, because it's a very fine line, right?
Little things, even the obvious things. To not do anything to make it better is like seeing a wounded animal, and all it needs is just a little tiny little rat.
Well, I do the things I can do, like, what did I say last time? Recycling. That's something I can do, and I do it for your children, for the offspring of you people. I have none. For me, if it was about me, the whole earth could go to shit, right? I have no offspring, right? But I'm not even that selfish, I guess, which I should be, maybe.
Bag around its little injured paw or something. You don't have to radically change who it is or do anything major. You just have to do a little band-aiding here and there. And
I'm trying, I guess.
Some of that little stuff can make a difference. I'm just saying it's a little thing, in my opinion, of harm mitigation, is to allow people the dignity to die by volition alone, not by, I'm going to force you to be desperate. So it's not just because you...
Well, I guess people would have to be desperate so that they would want to die. It's kinda common sense to me, but I don't know.
Want to die, you're going to have to want it desperately. And again, a woman's right to abortion is kind of dependent on her being able to make the choice free of any unnecessary obligation to do it in a manner that's insensibly brutal and risky. And the same is true for people, and it's just bullshit. You just evaded the subject, in my opinion.
At least you said in your opinion. I agree.
All right. So his argument is God's in control, we're not. Which, again, who wants God's control? So
I do.
He's making this argument essentially that government sucks and society is shit and culture is bullshit, and yet he's going to argue that somehow God...
Well, culture is the traditions of man, and the traditions of man aren't that good, are they?
Civilization rules are so much better, and God is worse, in my opinion.
In your opinion? But I see it ultimately, always. This earth is what it is, and we can try to make the best of it and do as little harm as possible. And I would even say you do that. That's beautiful.
We don't punish children for the crimes of the parent, right? I mean, I think we should punish parents for the crimes of the children. That might be a good idea.
Maybe not. Maybe you should really go back to the roots in many ways, but who knows? I don't know the fix for this world. And as you often say, that Jesus said, the poor will be with you always. So this world will always be fucked, kind of. And that's the cards we were all dealt, and we dealt ourselves and our children. We are all really part of this mess, aren't we?
Thinking about just recent events and other things, it just, there should be some penalty. Parents should pay a little bit more price than, oh, you humiliated me by being an asshole. Yeah, maybe they should pay a financial price if they have money. They should pay a financial price. And
I'm going to part 2.